Following Chelsea at the Club World Cup over in Florida there, Carve, good to see you. Good evening to you. And I know you have news now on a long-standing transfer target. Give us more.
Yes, Chelsea are moving closer to agreeing a deal with Borussia Dortmund to sign Jamie Gittens. Now, both clubs, Chelsea and Dortmund, are out here in the States playing in the Club World Cup. Talks have been continuing between the two clubs over the past fortnight about a deal for Gittens. If we go back to the start of this month, of course, during that first transfer window of the summer, Chelsea were trying to sign him then, but they weren't able to do a deal before the first deadline day on June the 10th. But we always told you that Chelsea would go back in for him, and they have gone back in for him. And the latest information we have is that a deal is now getting close. Gittens himself hasn't been feeling too well. The Dortmund head coach, Niko Kovac, told us a few days ago that he'd been affected because it's too hot outside and it's too cold inside the Dortmund hotel. So he'd picked up a sort of virus or flu. He missed their game a couple of days ago against Ulsan HD. We have to wait and see whether he'll feature in their round of 16 game, which I think is on Tuesday against Monterrey. Chelsea, of course, are playing tomorrow against Benfica in their round of 16 game against Charlotte. But definitely the direction of travel is that Gittens will become a Chelsea player. I'm not sure how much the deal will be worth. I think around the 50 million, 55 million euro mark they'll have to end up paying for him. Chelsea, we've told you for a couple of weeks, will definitely sign at least one more wide player because Jadon Sancho has left, Mykhailo Mudryk is unavailable at the moment, and Gittens has been their top target.
Carve, it's Mark in the studio here. Great to see you in action over the course of the Club World Cup. Let's look at another position that Chelsea have been talking about. Now, we know they've closed the chapter on the AC Milan goalkeeper Mike Maignan, but could they still sign a goalkeeper over the course of this summer?
Very good question. I don't want to make myself a hostage to fortune, but standing here today, my information is that Chelsea are not actively trying to sign a goalkeeper. Now, having said that, I wouldn't be surprised if they did sign a goalkeeper because we don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 months of the transfer window. But they've got 4 goalkeepers at the moment. They're pretty happy with those 4 goalkeepers. I think one of those 4 will move on loan to Strasbourg. One of them will be sold. So possibly they could sign another goalkeeper. I don't know. Sometimes you've got to hold your hand up and say, I don't know what's going to happen. My information is they're not actively looking for one, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did sign one. Could it be Emi Martinez? There have been lots of reports that he will leave Aston Villa this summer. Now, I believe that Chelsea have a lot of respect for Emi Martinez. They think he's a great goalkeeper. Of course, he's somebody who's won the World Cup. But at the moment, he is not an active Chelsea target.
Carve, it looks brilliant out there in Orlando. You're following Manchester City. One player not in Orlando right now, Jack Grealish, not in the Club World Cup squad. What's Pep Guardiola had to say about him?
Yeah, this is a bit of a sort of strange one because everybody loves Jack. Everybody loves Jack Grealish, the way he plays, the way he sort of deals with fans, all the work he does off the pitch as well. But obviously there's some kind of issue, which means that he hasn't been selected to be in the City squad to come to the Club World Cup. He's been told that he can find a new club. But having spoken or sat in news conferences where Pep Guardiola has been asked about Jack Grealish in public, Jack Grealish basically, Pep Guardiola seems to like Jack Grealish almost as much as everybody else does. For instance, here in Orlando, a couple of days ago when he was talking to Jack Grealish, he said, look, we need to make sure we find a solution that is good for Jack, that is good for his family, that is good for his kids. He said that Jack Grealish was a great player, somebody who was instrumental in City winning the treble a couple of years ago. He said we wouldn't have won that treble without Jack Grealish. But having watched City yesterday against Juventus here in Orlando, their players are playing so well. And they've got players out wide like Doku, who was the player of the match yesterday, like Savinho, who played so well. They've also made quite a lot of signings. So you scratch your head and think, does Jack Grealish have a future at this club? Obviously, from what Pep Guardiola is saying and from what we know, I think Jack Grealish will almost certainly leave Manchester City this month. But from what Pep Guardiola said yesterday, he will be leaving with Guardiola's best wishes.
Said many times, so the guys have been together for many years. Always I wish him the best. I want the best for Jack, for his partner, his kids and family. I want the best. I don't know what's going to happen right now. I don't have any doubts about the quality of Jack. So the quality always have been there. The year of the treble that we won, without him would have been impossible. So he's a top player, but the players that compete within each other.
So that's Pep Guardiola. Guardiola and the City squad are back now at their base in Palm Beach, which is about 170 miles away from here. They'll be back in Orlando on Sunday because they're playing their round of 16 game here against Al Hilal.
And Carver, as we've seen so far in this competition, City signings have slotted in almost seamlessly so far. With that in mind, could Pep go into the market once again? And are you expecting there to be much business in this mini transfer window within the Club World Cup?
Well, there is this window that's now opened. I'm not sure we should call it a window. It's a registration period that's open until the 3rd of July. So clubs who are playing in the Club World Cup can register new players. Now, I'm pretty sure Chelsea won't be registering any new players. City won't be registering any new players. And when you look at how well City played yesterday against Juventus, they absolutely dismantled Juventus. They played so well. Rodri was back, starting for the first time since he picked up that really serious knee injury against Arsenal in September. You just looked at that side and thought, this is a side who are going to win the Premier League next season. There's no side who can match or beat City if they play as well as this throughout next season. So the short answer to your question is, I don't think they need to sign anyone. But who knows? The transfer window is open for a while yet, so they may move in the market, especially if players leave. And I think quite a few players will leave. Pep Guardiola has said, look, I would love to keep all these players. But the problem is, if I keep all these players, they're going to be unhappy because so many of them are not going to be playing regularly next season. Also, I know a lot has been made about how much money City have spent, not just this summer, but also in January as well. But don't forget, if they win this Club World Cup, they will bank an extra £112 million. So I think that will help to balance the books as well.
Carve, excellent as always. Looks like a scorcher out there. Make sure you got your sunscreen on, please.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Jess.
Chelsea's recruitment drive continues to push forward under the new regime, and the next addition could come from the Bundesliga. Talks have accelerated with Borussia Dortmund over winger Jamie Gittens, and the two clubs are now edging closer to a deal. Source: Sky Sports News cover Solhekel. Status: advanced negotiations. Clubs involved: Chelsea and Borussia Dortmund. Player: Jamie Gittens 19, winger. Chelsea and Dortmund are both in the United States for the Club World Cup, which has allowed in-person talks to continue over the past 2 weeks. Negotiations stalled before the initial summer deadline day on June 10th, but momentum has now returned. Gittens, who missed Dortmund's game against Ulsan HD due to illness, is still expected to be part of their plans for the round of 16 against Monterrey on Tuesday, although his future may lie elsewhere. Jamie Gittens is viewed as one of Dortmund's most technically gifted young talents. A left-footed wide forward with pace, balance, and quick feet, he has shown flashes of elite potential in limited Bundesliga minutes. For Chelsea, he fits the recruitment model: young, dynamic, and high ceiling. Under Enzo Maresca, Chelsea are expected to transition to a more possession-based, vertical style. Gittens' 1v1 ability and off-ball movement would complement that perfectly. Chelsea continue to build a squad for the long term, blending top-tier youth with tactical versatility. Gittens would join a growing core of under-21s already pushing for senior roles, part of a broader strategy to future-proof the first team while complying with FFP constraints. With talks nearing completion, Chelsea may soon add another exciting prospect to their attacking ranks. Jamie Gittens' potential move represents another carefully calculated step in the club's youth-focused rebuild. All eyes now turn to Charlotte on Saturday, where Chelsea face Benfica, and where more developments may surface. Stay tuned to SportLab for real-time insights on Chelsea's evolving transfer strategy.